The Ray Darcy Show on RTE Radio 1. Proudly sponsored by Volkswagen. Volkswagen.ie.
The economics lecturer in UCC, price elasticity of demand. That's the official name for that. Now, it's been a hectic, mad, crazy year for Vera Twomey. She's just returned from Holland with her daughter Eva. Eva is 8 and she suffers from an extremely rare form of epilepsy. And Vera, you probably know by now, has been campaigning for her to receive access to medicinal cannabis in Ireland. And that all started, Vera, November of last year. So you've been campaigning for over a year now.
Oh, we've been campaigning since October of
2016.
2015.
Have you?
Yeah.
How are you, Annie? Sorry, I should say hello to you. How are you?
Hello, Ray. How are you?
You're good. Vera's in our Cork studio. And then I suppose you sort of made it onto the news and into the papers November 2016 because you were walking from your home in Cork up to meet the Minister for Health. Yeah,
we started campaigning. We started a Change.org petition in October of 2015 for Eva, and she was very unwell at that time, and we were looking for meetings with Simon and so forth. So over the next couple of months, we were contacting local newspapers and TDs and trying to get to meet Simon. And I think we met him first, I think about maybe May of 2016, something like that. And, it went along, and the communication periodically broke down between the Department of Health and ourselves, and that happened in November of 2016, and that was the first walk that we did when Simon intervened that evening and asked me to stop the walk, and he asked me not to walk again, and I said to him, well, I won't promise you that I'll stop, that I won't promise you that I won't do it again, but I'll postpone it until we get what we need for Eva, and so I did. And well, when we didn't get what we needed for Eva by March of the following year, that's why we went back to Mallow and began the walk again from Mallow and completed it the second time. In a wheelchair at the end? At the end it was, yeah. Thank God there was Brian was there to push the wheelchair towards the end, because I wasn't, I tried hard, but I wasn't able to keep going, You're an amazingly strong woman, and I suppose we would like to think, all parents would like to think, that they would do the same for their own children if put in your situation. But I don't know if we would. And after that then, you were stopped in Dublin Airport as you arrived home from Barcelona, and prescribed cannabis was confiscated from you. And then the next time we spoke to you in February, the next time we spoke to you was you'd moved to Holland. When did you move to Holland? We left for Holland on the 17th of June. So we returned with Eva last Saturday. We got some extraordinary, wonderful professional treatment over in Holland for Eva. She has over in Holland one of the best paediatric neurologists in the country, caring for her, monitoring her, prescribing the medication. They have different laws. Just to fill people in who don't know your story, Eva's age is Dravet syndrome, which is an extreme form of epilepsy, which means that when it's at its worst, Eva could have 20 seizures in a day, and some of the seizures can last from 2 minutes to 2 hours. That's right. And you realised by getting just a low dose of cannabis-based medication that it changed. It changed completely. In October of last year, we started Charlotte's Web, which we got from the hemp store in Capel Street above in Dublin, and we saw a dramatic improvement in Eva's seizures. I'm not saying, by the way, that Eva's improvement is something that is going to automatically happen for everybody. The effect that it has varies from person to person. But on Eva, it had a very significant effect. Her seizures dropped by 80 to 90%. But we were missing two things, Ray, which was, the first was supervision by a paediatric neurologist in conjunction with her CBD oil. her CBD oil wasn't being prescribed in Ireland by a consultant, which we weren't happy with at all, because, you know, she's a little girl, she's a vulnerable little person, and she deserves to have the supervision of a qualified and experienced person. And then secondly, there's great medical research after being done that the addition of THC alongside CBD oil can be more effective in controlling the seizures. So that was what we needed. We needed the security for Eva to have a paediatric neurologist overseeing her, and we also needed the opportunity to access THC medication to see whether her seizures could be brought under control more than what they were at that stage.
You explain to me, we've about 4 minutes, and I want to get all this story out. Will you explain to me what has changed? Why you are now back in the country with the medicine that you wanted before you left the country in the first place?
Well, we had a monitoring period over in Holland while our paediatric neurologist there got to know our daughter, and the monitoring period went on for 3 months. Our neurologist over in Holland prescribed the CBD and THC medication for Eva, and then when that report was completed, we were able to hand that over to our paediatric neurologist in Ireland, and our paediatric neurologist in Ireland reviewed the report in conjunction with the neurologist in Holland. And then there was an application put in for a licence for medical cannabis for Eva, and that licence was that application was submitted, and the licence was granted based on the medical team that now surrounds Eva. Okay. And the results of her monitoring period, I mean, for any parents in Holland, for any parents out there, you know, that have kids with epilepsy, they'll be very familiar with getting EEGs done. We got several EEGs done on Eva while we were in Holland, and progressively over the time, one EEG after the next was showing less and less seizure activity. You know, there was a great improvement.
So Vera, the problem is our laws don't allow that monitoring, because Eva wouldn't have been able to get the medication to monitor it to establish what's the right dosage, etc. So that had to be done outside the country, then get the neurologist to sign off on that. Now an Irish neurologist has signed off on it, and that's why you got the licence. Would it not have been nicer for everybody and prevented you from walking, ending up in a wheelchair, going to Spain, being embarrassed on national television, going to Holland? Would it not have been better to have all that done in your home country?
I mean, this situation is totally what we have gone through. I mean, I never wanted to be out in public like this, but I felt that it was what I had to do for my little girl to get what she needed. I couldn't bear the idea that other parents over in Europe were able to access this, and if they had a little girl with Dravet's over in Holland or Germany or Italy or Greece, that they had options that Eva didn't have. We had to have access to them. And the thing is, Ray, you know what? It's not just about epilepsy. It's not just about Eva. It's about all the other people that need this medication as well. People that have no options left. People that are absolutely on their backs with pain, with chronic pain, with fibromyalgia, with, you know, with the cancer, even with the possibility. I know people that have had successful reduction in, you know, in their symptoms with the cancer. There's glaucoma. The list is absolutely endless.
The brilliant thing is, Vera, that you're back in the country. Eva has the medication you've been campaigning for, and you'll be home for Christmas. So that's great.
That is the most important thing at the moment.
Okay, and we'll keep in contact, because we have to go now. I said we're doing limited time. Okay. But we will keep in contact. We'll talk again very shortly. Yeah. But give Eva a big hug.
Hopefully we'll talk about it being legislated for next year in the Dáil.
We will. Yeah. Okay. Vera Twomey, thanks very much.
Take care.
Mary Wilson's on the way with Drive Time. We're back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Good luck.